I'd seen the woman nosing around the outside of the house, peeking in through the back French doors, and then finally getting up the nerve to come inside. I'd called Shep, but he hadn't picked up his damned phone, and I really hadn't wanted to call the cops for a nosy Nellie. I was sure the woman was just curious. But sneaking around a construction site was a surefire way to get hurt or worse, which was exactly what was about to happen. The woman's eyes widened at my barked question, revealing stunning hazel irises. Her shock seemed to make them spark, the gold and the green a living, breathing thing. But then her foot got caught on a broken step. That shock turned to fear as she windmilled her arms. I let out a stream of curses, trying to predict which way she might tumble. She was only about 10 steps up, but if she hit wrong, it could be really damn bad. The woman's mahogany hair flew around her face as she tried to regain her balance. It was futile. She crashed into the railing, already weak from fire and smoke damage, and went straight through it. I moved on instinct, charging forward to catch her. She landed with an oomph against me. She was petite, but the force of the impact knocked the air right out of my lungs. Or maybe it was the fire in those hazel eyes that stole my oxygen. Hazel eyes locked on me in fury. The woman shoved at my chest, squirming out of my arms. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" Her ire raised my brows a fraction, my practiced mask slipping just the tiniest bit. "What am I doing? You're the one sneaking around a construction site. This is private property. I could have called the cops on your ass. Or worse, you could have broken your neck." She let out a huff of breath that made wisps of hair dance around her face. "I know it's private property, you overgrown oaf." A muscle along my jaw ticked in a staccato punch as I tried to rein in my annoyance. "Then why the hell are you on it?" "Because I own it," she said with a haughty glare.
I took in lungs full of fresh air as I walked from the main house to the guest cottage. The scent of ponderosa pines filled my nose instead of stale air laced with smoke. Each inhale washed away the tendrils of panic and haunting memories still swirling. What they didn't erase was my annoyance. I could still see Anson's smug expression. There was no hint of a smile. The opposite, in fact. He seemed pissed the hell off that he had to deal with me at all. I'd heard Shep talking about his best friend from college countless times, but the stories he'd shared from their days at the University of Oregon didn't match the man I'd met today. The Anson that Shep had described was easygoing and almost mischievous. The person I'd met today was cold with a harshness that didn't compute. Even if he had saved my ass, quite literally. I winced at my reaction. Biting someone's head off wasn't me, not even when they deserved it. But Anson had caught me at my most vulnerable, and that wasn't something I liked anyone seeing, ever. My phone buzzed in my back pocket, and I tugged it free, grateful for the distraction. That gratitude fled the moment I saw my ex's name on the screen. No, ex wasn't right. But what did you call someone you'd gone on all of 4 dates with, who now wouldn't leave you alone? Davis. "How about dinner tonight?" I scowled at the phone. There would be no dinner tonight, tomorrow night, or next year. I blamed the stroke I'd clearly had when saying yes to more than one date. Either that or the memory of who Davis had been in high school. That guy had been funny and into hiking and rock climbing back then. A bit of a player, but not a jackass about it. The guy he was now was a pompous douche canoe. The sound of boots crunching gravel had me turning around and sliding the phone back into my pocket. Shep strode toward me with a single-minded purpose. Even with his ball cap hiding his eyes, I saw the concern there. My stomach twisted. I hated being the source of Shep's worry. He took far too much on his shoulders already. He pulled me into a hug before I could get a word out. "You okay?" I let out a long breath. "I'm good.